Hello, Professor. This is Lab 1. We're doing analysis of simple DC circuits. These are group members.
My name is Elliot Machat, and Panther ID 6330100.
My name is Sebastian, Panther ID 6315456.
And my name is Fabio Macias, Panther ID 6243957. Group 9, and then our course is EL 3110C.
The objective of this experiment is to understand and demonstrate how to properly design, measure, and simulate simple resistive circuits using multisystem. In this case, we're using multisystem online.
Okay, for our activity 5, we set up a closed circuit and it had a DC of 5 volts. Afterwards, the two resistors were added in parallel, and then each condition was tested. One was R1 being bigger than R2, then R2 being bigger than R3, and then R1 being equal to R2. Because the resistors were in parallel, the equation for them was that the inverse of R equals is equal to the inverse of R1 plus the inverse of R2, etc. This equation is a little bit different compared to the R equivalent in series. And that's why when you measure R1 equal to R2, the R equivalent changes because it is inverses now. The other two did show the same R equivalent because you're just adding the same fractions. As you can see between A and B, R1 is greater than R2, and then R2 is greater than R1. But once you do the voltage divided by the current, you get the same values for each one. And you can also test it by just adding each resistance, the inverse of each resistance, and then multiplying it times -1, and you'd get the same values. Then when it comes to C, the resistance is a little bit different due to the fact that the fractions are not the same with the inverses, and that's why you get a higher value of the ohms.
So the discussion and conclusion, the simulations done for this lab through multisystem demonstrate and prove that mathematical concepts that we have learned so far in the class, working with resistors in parallel and in series can lead to different R equivalent due to their setups. Or overall, the objective of this lab was obtained, and we learned more about the different elements of simple resistive circuits. So in other words, we learned a lot about how to use resistors, how to measure the current and the voltage in each part of them. And yeah.